Wanted to do one on living fossils. Um, Living fossils are one of the most powerful evidences that evolution never occurred. The fact is, this man, Carl Warner, Dr. Carl Warner, trained biologist, traveled the world, spending over 30 years trying to prove is evolution true or is it not. And he photographed over 500,000 fossils and conclusively proves evolution never took place. He concentrated on the rock layers, the fossil rock layers of the dinosaur era, the um, Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous periods. And he wanted to know, is any modern fossils, any modern animals living with dinosaurs? Did they actually evolve, or did they actually exist back there unevolved? And he found examples of every phyla, not only of the animals, but of every plant phyla. So conclusively proving nothing actually shows evolution. And it's basically the only ones he couldn't find, the missing parts, the missing animals are basically missing to evolutionists and creationists. So it's not just one side that hasn't got the fossils, it's both sides. Whether by fraud, deception, or unwillingly, or in ignorance, the fossil animals were named a different genus and species name to the modern counterparts, giving an impression that evolution had occurred. But when examining the fossils against modern fossils against the ancient fossils, the modern creatures against the ancient fossils, there was no sign of any biological evolution in the actual fossils and creatures. In fact, it was surprisingly, they were similar, seemed unchanged. And we're talking every phyla, type, and of plant and animal was found and discovered. This book is very beautiful. It's got heaps, hundreds and hundreds of photographs. There's a video, if you don't want to read, there's a video on it that has lots of evidence in the video. It's a 2-book series at the moment, but there's a 3rd book coming out. And I believe this categorically destroys the whole concept of evolution. Evolutionists will argue, that evolution happened so fast there was no actual fossil record. And I mean, that's just saying the non-evidence is the evidence, which is an absolute stupid argument, which is what's happened in geology as well. The gaps between the layers become the evidence for geology because there was no evidence for geologists. So now the same thing is happening in paleontology. They're saying fluctuated equilibrium, as in it happened so fast that there was no fossil trace. It happened in big jumps. But this here is actually scientific observable proof that evolution never actually occurred. Whether you argue and come up with whatever theories you want, you can't beat the actual facts. So what you need to know is biological classification system. There was the kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. So when this man examined the genus and species of the ancient ones, he noticed that every single time the modern counterpart had a different genus and species name. So therefore giving the impression that evolution had occurred when in fact no evolution has occurred. The chart shows the numbers of dinosaur fossils that have been found so far. There's over 200,000 birds, there's 287 theropods, lots of Tyrannosaurus rexes and all sorts of creatures, lots and lots. But you'll notice there's zeros. They're the ancestor fossils where these dinosaurs have come from. There is absolutely not one found fossil for a transitional form or an ancestor of dinosaurs. This alone should raise great concerns about the theory of evolution, since there's no fossil evidence for dinosaurs coming from anywhere. that was just a sample of the book. It has so many hundreds and hundreds of photos of fossils that are found. You realise that complex animals, and they haven't evolved at all from the fossils to the modern creatures. Here's some pictures of just pictures of living fossils that are well known to be alive and haven't changed. You'll be surprised there's hundreds. There's birds like owls, ducks, flamingos, animals that you would not expect to be living with dinosaurs. We were living with dinosaurs. In fact, I don't believe there was any difference in the of the creatures at all. We've got hedgehogs, so we've got marsupials, we've got parrots, there's fish, there's herring, there's all sorts of creatures that are normal today, and so every species or phyla has been found of its genus, so we know. So to conclude, what is the conclusion? Here we go. Here's modern and appearing animals found in dinosaur rock layers. The 7 major animal phyla living today. All of them have been found. So that's the animals. When it comes to the plants, modern appearing plants found in dinosaur rock layers. So look at the kinds. 7 major plant divisions living today, and there's an example of all 7. Which should, if you come to a logical conclusion, there seems no place for evolution. There seems nothing that has evolved. The only thing that seems to have occurred is extinctions. The Cambrian explosion was an explosion of life in that layer. So even according to using the silly rock layers, it just does not add up or make sense. I think a person who believes in evolution, after seeing this and looking at the evidence, is believing because it's their religion and not because of evidence. It's that they're just going on blind faith now. You have to think, if they have a problem with the origin of the universe, that all matter spontaneously came from no matter, with no cause and effect, which breaks every principle of science. They have a problem with the origin of the matter of the universe. They have a problem with the origin of life, the first cell life. They have not seen spontaneous generation from chemical elements to create proteins, functional DNA, cell membranes, any of the, or even lipids. Anything that they've needed, they've never seen spontaneous generation of it. So, problem 1, origin of the universe. Problem 2, origin of life. Problem 3, no transitional forms. There's no adaptation or transitional forms happening. No intermediates. The best fossil evidence that evolutionists put forward is totally problematic. That is whales from land mammals, birds from dinosaurs, and man from apes. All of those are completely problematic. In fact, the mammals one was actually from whales. The whales from mammals was actually forgery. The expert, the best expert in the world, faked his fossils by putting the flippers on and all that onto the mammal to make it look like a transitional form. So they're all collapsing. Okay. There's yeah, the best evidence for evolution was time, but the geological rock layer has basically collapsed. There was one of the most greatest the best evidences for evolution have been eliminated over time. They've been collapsing over time. So the historical best evidences for evolution, a theory of evolution, have been eliminated. This is, in the last 30 years, the proofs of evolution that everyone believed back in the day have all dissolved. And this here, that brings you to a conclusion, then it can't be a very good theory. You've heard of the Big Bang, ontogeny recapitulates, thymology. That was basically Haeckel's fake drawings that all creatures go through evolution as embryos, evolutionary stages as embryos. That has collapsed. That's a load of bull. Pucky. Spontaneous formation of bacteria like single cell organism from chemicals. That's collapsed. In fact, horse evolution, human evolution, horse evolution, they're all under massive problems. Basically, the best proofs have all been disintegrating over time. I think it doesn't make good science when a theory keeps having to reinvent itself to try and stay above water. I think it's basically, this is not it's an unhealthy sign of a scientific theory.